Hey, Jeju is a volcanic island south of the Korean mainland where waterfalls pour straight into the sea and the cafes rival the geology. 4 days is enough to cover the highlights, but only if you don't burn half the trip guessing which coast has what. I already built out the full route into an editable template, so the link's in the description if you want it. Jeju is bigger than people expect. It's a proper island you drive around, and each coast has a completely different personality. Day 1 is the east coast. Climbing a volcanic crater at dawn, walking a headland by lunch, then collapsing at a beach cafe. This is Sunrise Peak, a volcanic cone on Jeju's eastern shore that rises out of the water like the island's own logo. The crater at the top is roughly 600 meters across and 90 meters deep. It looks like a stadium that magma built. You climb over 1,000 steps in the dark because the sunrise waits for no one, and yes, hundreds of strangers are doing the same. Book entry online before you go. Daily visitor numbers are capped, and showing up without a ticket is how you get turned away. A quick drive down the coast gets you to Seopjikoji, a grassy headland that juts out toward the horizon like a natural runway. Black volcanic rock on one side, open ocean on the other, and Sunrise Peak behind you looking even better from out here. There's an abandoned building that was a set for the Korean drama All In, and honestly more people photograph that than the actual geology. Grab tangerines from roadside vendors on the drive, bring cash, because this flat, easy walk is exactly what your legs need after those stairs. Woljeongri is where Jeju's younger crowd goes to be seen, minimalist cafes fronting shallow, genuinely turquoise water. Some of these cafes have floor-to-ceiling glass walls specifically, so you can stare at the ocean without ever leaving your chair. Jeju has ancient craters, sea caves, and a volcano you can climb. But the thing everyone actually posts is their latte next to turquoise water. Come on a weekday if you can, because weekend parking fills by noon and the cafe queues get silly. Day 2 shifts south to Seongeup, waterfalls, hexagonal cliffs, and a forested gorge with its own mythology. Jeongbang pours 23 meters off a pine-covered cliff straight onto the rocky coast, one of very few waterfalls in Asia that empties directly into the sea. The sound shifts from forest quiet to thunder as you descend, and mist hits your face at the bottom whether you want it or not. Standing at the base getting sprayed by cold water while holding your phone above your head to keep it dry, the universal Jeongbang pose. Wear shoes with grip for the slick rocks at the base, and get here early because the viewing area is small and tour groups fill it fast. When lava from Hallasan met the ocean and cooled fast, it fractured into hexagonal basalt columns. Now waves slam against them like nature's architecture. They look machine-cut, but it's the same physics behind the Giant's Causeway, except here the ocean is actively smashing into them. The geometry of those stone columns against the chaos of the surf is the whole show. Stand on the viewing platform and just watch. Budget less time than you think, because this is mainly a viewing platform, not a hike. 45 minutes to an hour is realistic. Cheonjeyeon is a 3-tiered waterfall system flowing through a forested gorge. The name translates to Pond of the Emperor of Heaven. The legend says 7 nymphs descended from heaven to bathe here, and the arch bridge spanning the gorge has them carved into the stone. Most visitors stop at the first 2 falls, but keep going to the third because that's the biggest pool and the quietest spot. The park closes at sunset, and climbing back up those gorge stairs takes more out of you than you'd expect after a full day. Day 3 flips to the west coast. Absurdly turquoise shallows, green tea fields, and a sandstone dragon that only shows up when the tide drops. Hyeopjae is the beach that makes people double check. They're still in Korea. White sand, shallow turquoise water, and Byangdo Island sitting on the horizon. At low tide, the water is knee-deep for so long you can walk out absurdly far toward Byangdo before it even reaches your waist. You flew to a volcanic island in the Korea Strait, and you're standing in Caribbean-colored shallows, staring at what looks like a toy island. Mornings are calmest here because afternoon wind picks up fast on this exposed coast, and outside summer that open beach gets genuinely cold. Osulloc is Korea's first tea museum, built by Amore Pacific on their own Jeju plantation. Rolling green tea fields backed by a sleek, modern building. The smell of green tea hits you before you walk in. And the cafe's matcha desserts are genuinely excellent, not just photogenic. The tea fields are smaller and more manicured than photos suggest. This is a polished commercial experience, but the matcha cake earns its cue. If you want a tea tasting workshop, book ahead through their website because walk-in spots aren't guaranteed, and the booking site can be tricky in Korean. Yongmeori means dragon head, and once you see the layered sandstone at the foot of Sanbangsan Mountain, the name makes total sense. A monument here honors Hendrik Hamel, a Dutch sailor shipwrecked on Jeju in the 1650s, whose account became one of the first European descriptions of Korea. You're walking on the ocean floor during low tide, wet sandstone, waves crashing into caves, the smell of tidal pools, zero shade. Check tide tables before you drive out. Because this stop only exists at low tide, wrong timing means a locked gate and a wasted drive. The last day is the big one. South Korea's tallest mountain in the morning, then a village where people still live under thatched roofs. Hallasan is the volcano that built Jeju, 1,947 meters, South Korea's tallest mountain, with a crater lake at the summit and ocean visible from every side. The lower trails wind through mossy forest that feels prehistoric, then above the tree line, it's bare rock, and wind with a summit that's cold year-round. Start by 8 because park rules require a checkpoint by midday, and reserve your free time slot online beforehand. No reservation, no mountain. You came to a beach island and spent your last day climbing South Korea's tallest mountain because someone said it was doable. It is. Seongeup is what Jeju looked like before the resorts: thatched stone houses, lava rock walls, ancient Zulkova trees, and people who still actually live here. Unlike reconstructed folk villages elsewhere in Korea, this one isn't a replica. The architecture is real domestic design, and residents go about their actual lives. Volcanic rock walls line narrow lanes and thatched roofs smell like dried grass. It's quiet in a way nowhere else on Jeju manages. Wander at your own pace, because there's no set route, and if a resident offers you honey, buy some. You just photograph their house. 4 days on Jeju, and you've stood inside a volcanic crater, walked a dragon's head at low tide, and climbed the mountain that made the whole island. I put the full 4-day route into an editable template with all these stops mapped, links in the description. Drop a comment about which stop you'd add or skip. Always curious what people prioritize on Jeju.